What's up, guys? So we got a question today from Hampton Dan 151 from YouTube. And I always say, guys, if you have a question, there's no dumb questions. Just ask it, leave it in the comments below. And if I really like the question, I will answer it. Just be as specific as possible. He says, hey guys, 46-year-old newbie here. Joined a gym, reviews seem legit. Met with the instructor, got a good feel for the place. I have zero experience with martial arts. I explained this during our first meeting. The first day we did judo throws. I thought it was normal until I jammed/broke my big toe and landed on my head. I thought I'd push through, supposed to be part of it. Then a gentle giant I was paired with landed on my arm in an arm bar, and whoa, I can't even go back right now because of the pain. I'm not complaining about getting roughed up, but I'm realizing now that I'm not learning the basics. Just keep trying to keep up with what they're doing. My question is, should this be normal or should there be structure to learn foundational skills? I have no idea what I'm doing. The instructor seemed nice and I don't want to trash talk them at all, but I realize that not everyone can teach. Any thoughts? This would be appreciated. Thanks. I'm going to assume your name is Dan. Thank you, Dan, for the question. Now, I will say that's not normal. I don't know your gym situation. Like you said, this doesn't seem like you're attacking the coach. It just seems like a very unfortunate thing for your first day. I will say that just to start this video, to answer it quick, should there be a fundamentals class? I'm not a head coach, not a head instructor, not a black belt. So you black belts that are gonna watch this, you let me know in the comments below what you think, because I think your opinion is important, especially if you're an actual instructor. Now, I'll say this. Coming from the gym that I started at, we had a fundamentals class. I didn't do it, obviously, because I had wrestled previously, but I believe, don't quote me on this, you can look at Chewy's website, but I believe it's like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that, where you have to do the fundamental classes before you can move on to the normal classes, unless you have circumstances that make you a little bit different, like maybe you were a college athlete, you were a wrestler, you did MMA, etc., etc. So fundamentals classes, not that I have a gym, but I would assume they're extremely, extremely important. Whenever I have a gym and I'm a black belt in the future, I will have a fundamentals class, and I'll probably hire someone to teach the fundamentals class because I think it's its own thing and it's a very, very specific thing to do. Next thing is it normal to be doing judo throws on your first day of practice? I don't know. Again, it really does depend on the gym that you're at. For us, at TriStar, he teaches a lot of takedowns. So a lot of the times we're doing takedowns and then we go into other stuff during the day. Judo throws, I've actually never done a class where the teacher taught judo throws, not since I wrestled, not since I've done BJJ. I did do judo for like a year when I was like a kid, kind of in the same time that I started wrestling. So we did a couple judo throws then, but I actually didn't get hurt because I had a good teacher. When it comes to stuff like throws, I think that personally, in my opinion, if you're a new person, you should not be learning throws. Like if you're a brand new person and you came for Jiu-Jitsu, maybe learning throws isn't the best, especially at the beginning. I do understand the importance of learning throws. If in your thought, you're like, if I were to get into a fighting situation and I had to fight, yes, guys, there's always the guy who's saying, well, you should just run away. Well, yes, of course, we know this. But if you had to fight, having good judo throws is great. So I do think actually it's kind of a green flag that you're at a gym that does judo, but the red flag is that, or at least from the information I got from this, they didn't teach you how to land properly. They didn't take you through proper safety protocols, and they were kind of negligent with your body. I mean, you're 46 years old. Also, I'm not saying you can't practice throws. I actually do think that you can still train takedown safely as an older grappler. I actually have a takedown for older grappler instructional. It'll pop up here or it'll be down in the links in the description below. But I do think learning takedowns is still important as a grappler. But you're 46 years old, you have zero experience with grappling or martial arts in general, and day one you're doing judo. Really? I'm gonna say it's bad. It's a big no. It's a green flag that they have takedowns in your classes. I think that's awesome, but it's a red flag that your instructor, or I guess the instructor of the gym, because you're clearly not training right now, that he let you come in and do that with no prior background in takedowns or any structure to make sure that you're safe. Here's the thing, guys. Dan said he's out. Like he's out from training. To this day, he's still out from training because of the injuries, right? There was three major injuries here, right? The big guy cranking on his arm, injuring his arm. I don't know the extent of his injury, breaking his big toe and landing on his head, which could have led to permanent brain damage, neck injuries, concussions, etc., etc. I think having the three injuries happening on day one is horrible. Shouldn't happen. It's really bad. I really wish I was there. I could see exactly what happened, because there's probably a lot of nuance to this that I don't understand. But I'm not saying don't go back to that gym. I think you could still train at that gym. I'm saying you should probably ask them if they have a fundamentals class. If you ask them if they have a fundamentals class and they don't, I'd be like, okay, well, bye. I'm not training here. You know, I'm a guy who believes that there's tons of different ways to train, right? I'm going to go out to see Greg Souders to learn more about the ecological stuff. I train at Pedigo, where it's a lot more live training. I've trained at JT's, where it's a lot more drilling. I don't have like a preference in how someone should train. I don't believe that there necessarily is a way to train. You know, I think that everyone learns differently, and that there's different ways to make people better and to be successful. You know, if you go ask all the ADCC trials champions how they trained, unless they're on the same team, there's always going to be some difference in the way that they've trained and some different way that they've mastered their techniques. I'm not saying that that gym's way is the wrong way. I'm just saying if you did ask and they don't have a fundamentals class, especially as a 46-year-old white belt, I would kind of be scared. In my opinion, what I would suggest, if you're in a bigger city, I would look up, you know, maybe a Gracie Baja, or maybe a gi, like a gi gym that does gi jiu-jitsu regularly. I think, especially when you're a little bit older, I think it's maybe a good idea to start with the gi, because you're usually with older people. You can also start at a gym that's just no gi too. Like I said in one of my videos, I don't think no gi is inherently more dangerous. I think some of the attitudes towards no gi can make it inherently more dangerous, right? And because of that, lots of younger, more spazzy people tend to go. It doesn't mean that's everyone, because it's not, like I did say in a previous video. But if I was you, look up other gyms. Maybe go try out them. Also, I had a friend, Kata. When she came to Derby City, she said that she went to pretty much all the gyms in Louisville. I'm not in Louisville anymore. I'm in Montreal. But she said she tested out all the gyms in Louisville, and then she found the one that she liked. And I think that more people should do that. Search around the gyms, find the ones you like, train at it. I've done the same thing when I came to Montreal. I've been to pretty much name the gym here in Montreal. I've been to at least once or twice. And then I found, like, I really like TriStar. I really like 450. So that's where I train. I think that a lot of new people don't know that there's a lot of options usually, especially if you're in a big city. If you're in a small city, sorry, sorry. I guess it is you're not going to move and change your life for jiu-jitsu. So I don't know, what can you do, right? In the end, getting injuries on your first day of jiu-jitsu is not extremely normal. I think it's kind of a wild thing, and I think that the coach of that gym may have approached it wrong. Just like you said, it's not an attack on the coach. I'm not attacking the coach, because I'm not a gym owner. I don't know the stresses of being a gym owner. It's so nuanced. Again, I wish I could see what actually happened, but what I would say is let your injuries heal up. Contact the coach. Be like, hey man, I still want to do this jiu-jitsu thing. Do you guys think that you have something that's slower, more fundamental, safe? Maybe we're starting on the ground. Maybe you're teaching me how to land. I'm too, I have a job, I have a house, I have bills to pay. I can't I can't risk just getting hurt every single day or getting thrown on my head every single day. I still want to do jiu-jitsu, but I just can't do it in that way. That would be my advice. So, should there be structure for beginners? That was one of your questions. Yes, there absolutely should. Are the practices where you go in and you get thrown and hit with judo throws normal? Can be, depending on the gym that you're at, but I don't think it's normal to have brand new beginners do judo throws without proper structure to identify where danger is and to teach people how to be safe when they're thrown. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is normal? And do you think that there should be structure for white belts? I'm really curious to hear, especially from the brown belts and black belts, even the purple belts, like the people who've been around jiu-jitsu for a bit, who have a little bit more experience, what you guys think about this. But yeah, also, as always, guys, if you want to support the channel, you want to learn how to wrestle, and maybe even you want to learn how to wrestle safely, like we talked about in this video. I have a ton of instructionals, one specifically about doing takedowns that are going to protect your knees, your back, etc., etc. It's called Takedowns for Older Grapplers, a systematic approach to underhook takedowns without hurting your knees. You can get that by clicking the link. I believe it's going to be right here, but it may be right here. I don't know. Or you guys can go to brandonreed3x.com/store to check out the full catalog of my instructional. I believe that I have 9 instructionals, so there's a lot of different things to do. But for you older grapplers, for the people in their 35, 45, 55 and up, I think this is a great instructional for you guys. Hopefully you guys found the video entertaining, at least. Talk to you next time.